Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. My name is Jennifer. In this video, I'll be showing you how I made this cute beach-themed snowman picture as part of my annual Christmas countdown. This year I'm taking materials found in nature and turning them into holiday decorations. Most are very inexpensive, easy to complete, and are great for beginners. Today's idea was inspired by a trip to Clearwater Beach, Florida. There was a vendor who made beautiful hand-painted and decoupage sand dollar ornaments. And while I didn't copy her work, it did make me consider using the sand dollars as a project. So I'll include her information in the description if anyone would like to see her collection for themselves. And if you're interested in making today's craft, stay with me and I'll walk you through each step.
I started off with 3 sand dollars that I ordered online. I believe they came in a pack of a dozen, and I'll include that information for you as well. You're also going to need a piece of wood as a backing. Mine measures 11 by 11 inches, but you can use whatever size you'd like. Mine was painted white already as it's left over from another project. It might be a good idea to paint yours too as sort of a primer. I laid mine out and chose sand dollars that gradually get larger. The top is roughly 2 inches, the middle is 2 1/8, and the bottom is 2 3/8 inches. I knew I wanted my lettering in the top left area, and I lightly sketched out where I want the beach, water, and horizon. I also outlined the lower sand dollars as I'm going to add paint and sand and don't want it underneath them or else it will be uneven. The color I chose is ironically called sand yellow, and I brushed on a coat avoiding the circles I just drew. Then I sprinkled a little craft sand on the wet paint and shook off the excess. This gives the project a nice texture. It stayed on better than I expected, but for good measure, I gave it a shot of Gorilla Glue adhesive spray. Then I chose a beautiful sea blue for the water, and I accidentally got some on the beach area too, but I was able to fix it later on. I spread this out a bit thick so it would give some texture to it. Then I added white paint to look like waves. I also painted the sky portion with a watered down lighter blue and some white to look like clouds. I spread this around with my fingertips because it was easier and didn't leave brush strokes. I made sure to pay attention to the area where my lettering is going. I want it to be solid white without streaks of color running through it. I thought I'd be able to use a hairdryer to blow the waves to shore, but I needed to also use my brush to blend the blue and white together. I thought the sky looked a little dreary on its own, so I blended a little yellow to make the beach look sunny. Then I set it aside to dry while I worked on the snowman. I used glue and glitter to give the bodies a little bit of sparkle and dimension. Then I added a carrot nose using this acrylic paint pen set I have and love. It's very easy to work with. Perfect circles are really hard to draw though, so I opted to dip the blunt end of my paintbrush in black and dab the end to create eyes and buttons. I debated on adding a mouth, but there's a natural slit in the sand dollar where it would go, and I thought it might look a little bit too busy. I can always add one later if I change my mind. I brushed a clear drying wood glue on the backs of each sand dollar, and after placing them, worked on the hat and scarf details. You can use any material you have on hand. I chose colored clay. I rolled it out on a cutting board and carefully cut it with an X-Acto knife. You can either bake this or use a hair dryer to cure it. I made sure to do this while on top of the sand dollars, otherwise the objects would be flat and I need them to have a contour. After they were dry, I put them in place using the same wood glue as before. I found some floral sticks that look like driftwood and cut them to length and glued them on to make arms. I also added a few shells around the beach area and made a sailboat in the distance using sea glass left over from another project in this countdown. Next, I painted a piece of scrap wood aqua blue to form a frame around the edges. You could miter the corners if you'd like, but to keep it simple, I made my example using butt joints. The last detail is the lettering. For this, you could decoupage or use a stencil, but since I have a Cricut, I used it. And here's what my picture looks like after all of the elements are added. I love that the variations are endless. You can take this idea and use whatever materials or embellishments you have on hand to customize it. It's also very inexpensive to make, and you could put these together to gift or sell. So I hope you enjoyed watching this video, and let me know in the comments if you plan to craft one for yourself and what changes you would make, if any. Also, don't forget to subscribe to see the rest of the countdown, and you can also find me on TikTok, Instagram, and Facebook as well. As always, thanks so much for watching, and until next time, take care.